wondered why the moon looks different every night? Tiny crescent or a big bright circle? Does it really change shape? Let's solve today's mystery!
Little explorers, welcome back to a brand new explainer. Go ahead, grab your seats, put on those imaginary spacesuits, and get ready, because today we are blasting off right into the night sky to solve a really massive space mystery. Have you ever been looking up at the stars and noticed something kind of curious about our big, glowing neighbor up there? Well, today we are officially becoming space detectives to crack the mystery of the changing moon. I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever noticed how the moon looks totally different depending on what night it is? You know, sometimes it's just this tiny curved crescent, like a little fingernail or a glowing banana up in the sky. And then maybe a few weeks later you look up and bam, it is a massive, super bright circle. So here's the big mystery question we're tackling today. Does the moon really change its shape? Is it literally shrinking and growing out there in space? Let's figure it out. All right, let's look at our game plan for today's explainer. First up, the changing moon mystery. Second, how the moon shines. Third, the 8 moon phases. Fourth, make your own moon. And we'll wrap it up with a pop quiz and a fun fact. Let's get into it. Part 1, the changing moon mystery. Let's set up today's puzzle. Okay, picture this. You're looking out your bedroom window on a perfectly clear night. One night, the moon is just this tiny crescent, but then a few days later, it's a big, bright circle. Honestly, it feels like the moon is some sort of magical, shape-shifting balloon, right? But to figure out what is actually going on up there, we have to uncover a huge secret about how the moon works. Moving right along to part 2, how the moon shines. Let's discover that secret. All right, here is our very first major clue. The moon? It actually doesn't make its own light. No way, it's true. It's basically a giant dark rock that acts like a massive mirror, reflecting the sun. If you think about it, half of the moon is absolutely always lit by the sun, exactly like a giant spotlight shining on a stage. But, and this is the important part, look at our view from Earth. We don't always see that whole lit half from down here. Our eyes can only see certain portions of that glowing half, depending entirely on where the moon happens to be. So why does it depend on where the moon is? Well, because the moon is constantly on the move. It travels or orbits right around our spinning Earth. And check out this incredible number on the screen, 29.5 days. That's nearly a whole month. That is exactly how long it takes for the moon to make one complete, massive trip around the Earth. And as it moves along that 29.5-day road trip, we down here on Earth get to see different angles of its sunlit side. So, little explorers, drumroll please. Here is the answer to our huge mystery. The moon absolutely never actually changes shape. Seriously, it is always just a giant round ball of rock. That changing shape we think we see, it's literally just a trick of the light. It's simply the moon's own shadow, hiding parts of itself as it travels around us. Isn't science just the coolest? Let's dive into part 3, the 8 moon phases. This is our monthly space cycle. Now, as the moon goes on that 29.5-day journey around our planet, it goes through 8 distinct, amazing phases. We kick things off with the growing phases. Scientists call these the waxing phases. When the moon is between us and the sun, we can't see it at all. We call that a new moon, and it's pretty much invisible. Then, as it shifts, we see a tiny curved smile called a waxing crescent. Next up is the first quarter, where exactly half of the moon is shining for us. Then it puffs up into a waxing gibbous, which just means it's almost totally full. And finally, halfway through its trip, boom, full moon. A big, gorgeous, bright circle in the sky because we are seeing its entire sunlit half perfectly. But hey, the trip's not over yet. The moon keeps right on orbiting, which brings us to the shrinking or waning phases. First, it turns into a waning gibbous, slowly looking like it's getting smaller. Then the last quarter, where the exact opposite half shines. Then it shrinks way down to a waning crescent, just a tiny little sliver again. And finally, it goes right back to the start of the cycle as a new moon. And that entire, incredible monthly space cycle starts all over again.
The moon has 8 phases. Like this big, bright, full moon. It begins again.
Which brings us to part 4, make your own moon. Let's try this experiment at home. Okay, class, it is officially homework time, but don't worry, this is the super fun kind of homework. I want you all to become junior space scientists and literally recreate this 29.5-day space cycle right in your living room. Here's how you do it. First, have a parent or maybe a sibling hold a flashlight super steady. That flashlight is the sun. Next, hold an orange out in your hand. That orange is your moon. And your head is the Earth. Just stand in a dark room and slowly spin your body around in a circle while holding the orange out in front of you with that flashlight shining on it. As you move the orange around your head, you will literally see the shadows form on the orange, creating all 8 of those moon phases right before your very eyes. You gotta try it. All right, part 5, pop quiz and fun fact. Time to test your explorer knowledge. Let's get those thinking caps securely fastened for a super quick review. Let's see if we've completely solved our mystery. What actually makes the moon look like it changes shape? Is it A, clouds covering it up? Is it B, the moon moves around the Earth? Or is it C, the moon literally gets bigger and smaller? Think back to that orange experiment we just talked about. Think about the clues. I want you to shout out your answer on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look at that! Yes, the answer is absolutely B. The moon moves around the Earth. Incredible job, little explorers. You completely remembered that it's the moon's orbit around our planet that creates the different phases we see. You are all officially master space detectives now. Now, before we wrap up our lesson today, I have a seriously mind-blowing fun fact for you. Have you ever heard of the far side of the moon? Get this. As the moon rotates and orbits around our planet, the exact same side of the moon always faces Earth. It's like the moon is locked into place, constantly keeping its smiling face pointed right at us no matter where it is. Which means there is an entire back side of the moon, the far side, that we never ever see from down here on Earth. It stays completely 100% hidden from us. So if there is one crucial thing you take away from today's explainer, make it this. The moon does not really change shape, not at all. It only looks different to us because we're just seeing different parts of its sunlit side as it makes its monthly orbit around Earth. We totally figured out how the sun acts like a giant spotlight, how the moon takes almost a whole month to travel around us, and exactly how those beautiful 8 phases are created just by our viewpoint here on Earth. I am just so proud of you all for solving this epic space mystery today. But, like all really good scientists, solving one puzzle just naturally leads to another amazing question. So I want you to think about this tonight. If you could blast off in a rocket ship right now to explore that completely hidden far side of the moon, that mysterious backside that literally no one can see from Earth, what in the world do you think you would find out there? Keep thinking about that as you gaze up at the night sky tonight. Keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and I will see you right back here in our next explainer class for another awesome adventure. Class dismissed.
Today we discovered that the moon doesn't really change shape. It only looks different. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll see you next time.